Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views
so far, which is, you know. But here, I guess we can give you a sneak peek. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Bubba's on the album too.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you got, what's the next one?
Oh, you and the Lax?
All right. This is all the features on the album. Who's this?
You and Colt Ford?
Yeah. Oh, that's a big hook on this
Yeah.
song.
I was there when you recorded that one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You and Jelly?
Yeah.
You and Church?
Yeah. Banger. And the one with Jelly, you guys, that might be it's a big song. What's this one?
It says me and Broadnex, but is that the one?
Yeah, that's just me and John.
Okay.
What's this one?
You and Damon?
Me and Demon.
You and Justin? Tom?
Just in Time.
You and Strug?
Struggle. That's a pretty good one. I like that one.
And then there's the boys. You, Damon, John,
me,
and
yeah.
Dusty.
ChadArmesTV, man, we are here.
Freestyles.
We are, man.
Hit me with anything. You got it. I'm here.
We got the legend Adam Calhoun. He let me come up to his spot, and we're very appreciative.
I'm glad you guys came, man.
Yeah, man. This has been something in the works for about a year, and it was just timing. And I'm glad that it worked the way it did. You know what I'm saying? We've already shot a good amount of footage here and there. You was taking us on some spots where you used to grow up. You was kind of giving us a little bit of history as far as the neighborhoods you were, used to be in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess what we'll do to start out like we do all these is we'll start from growing up as a kid. So like childhood, do you want to kind of talk about that, like how it was growing up? First of all, always from Illinois, like where you're at?
So my whole family's from Pikeville, Kentucky, Lick Fork.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know that.
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, Pikeville, yeah.
And then I was the first one born up here. And so I spent every summer with my grandfather. As soon as school got out, I was in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And, it was my best memories that I actually have as a kid and even like a teenager were with my grandfather. But as soon as school got out, I was there, and as soon as school, like a week before school was about to go back, I went back home. But yeah, I Illinois is my state.
Yeah, and so being from here, like, you want to speak a little bit about how growing up was for you?
I want to say it was rough, but then it's like I don't want people to think like what is rough. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
In whose, if you say oh you had it rough, like okay, well,
people will instantly try to compare it to maybe
what's rough.
Yeah.
Like when I say how much does it cost? Oh, it's a lot. Well, what's a lot? How much is a lot? Because it's a lot to one person might not be a lot to another person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad the way I grew up because it gave me character, it gave me thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gave me a big fucking chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And for most of my life, I've walked around, angry. When it's time to be angry, I'm the first one to get angry.
Right.
But I don't know how to explain really how I grew up. I was my biological father. He was with my mom till I was about 1. I seen him on and off, until I was about a teenager, and then after that it was like, he had got married and had another child, and it was like I was interfering in his new life. So, my real father, which is it almost makes me want to cry because it's like I look a lot like him, and my daughter looks identical to him.
Oh, okay.
And it makes me sad because I just don't fuck with my dad, and he don't fuck with me. Yeah. And I don't fuck with him either. So it's like there's a big hole in my heart or whatever missing in my life. And the guy that did raise me, who my I have a brother, Danny and Patrick. We grew up very close. The guy that did raise me, he was only there till I was 7, and then my mom and him got divorced. My mom's been married 3 times, and every time I speak about my mom takes it very personal because I'm telling my story, and it's like she did something wrong, and it's not that she did anything wrong. It's just life. It's part of life, And when my father was out of the picture, and she got married to the guy who raised me, his name's Pat Dwyer. We lived in a trailer on the south side of Chicago. And then when I was like 8, they got divorced. We lived in a little house in the suburbs. And, we had food in our stomachs. We had shoes on our feet. We shared each other's clothes. I know all about sneaking in candy bars and pops to the movie theater, or opening up your lunch and your little bag, and so I don't know if it was rough. It was what it was, man. It wasn't what my other friends. Well, my other friend just got a car. I didn't get my first car till I paid for it. When I was 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So was it rough? I don't know. Maybe rough's not the right word. It wasn't your average middle class white. Privileged fucing, parents are married and
white picket fence.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was, me and my brothers taking showers together because there was 3 of us, and by the time of us 3 got out of the showers, my mom still had a shower, my sister had a shower, so there would be no hot water left. So we showered together till I was in high school. My little brother Danny, he's scared of the dark when he was a little guy, so he slept in my bed. We all slept in the same room, but every night he'd be sleeping in the bed with me, and he always breathed real loud, and I'd be like, "Yo, wake the fuck up, like Danny, like stop it." He's like breathing in my mouth, and he's my closest brother, and he's not my closest in age, but he's my best friend.
Yeah.
He probably slept and crawled in bed with me till he was in high school, and Aldi's and the shitty cereal, and now Aldi's is popping though. Everywhere you go, there's fucking Aldi's. But like the kids I went to high school with, though, it was a big high school, and they were all come from nice suburb areas, and they were all had money and drove to school and could buy lunch, and the shit that I'm talking about or saying that it wasn't rough. I guess it was just, this is what it is, motherfucker. Like, what I'm saying? You want some ramen noodles? I got you.
Yeah. It was just what y'all had. It's what y'all had to deal with.
It was more, when I say rough, I guess it was just more rough on my mind, because it was like, where's my dad?
Yeah.
And then this other motherfucker who I called dad, where'd he go? Where's he?
Yeah.
So now I'm the man of the house or whatever, and I'm 12. I'm sitting at the head of the table. I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're the oldest.
I'm the oldest boy. I'm the oldest. Period. Fuck.
Yeah.
My brother, he would come home. He was really good at cooking. My mom would leave directions to how to cook because my mom had to work late. She worked. She got up. She was gone at 7. She'd get back home at 6, 7 o'clock, whatever. And we had to eat. And then we had to go football practice, shit like that. So my brother, Danny, he was the cook. He would cook the pork chops, the if we could get that, the cube steaks, the rice-a-roni, the tuna casserole, the fucking... We didn't go without, but we didn't get more than that, except for Christmas. I love Christmas. Shout out to my mom. She made every Christmas like it was like the best thing in the world. I was always in trouble. Like I said, I always had some type of chip on my shoulder, and I think that came from, not really having a father figure, except my grandfather. That was my father figure to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other stuff that I can't really talk about that was rough. You know what I mean? And,
of course,
and because I can't speak on it because it's like it's personal family things that that I have to protect. My mother and
of course, man.
Shit like that.
Well, yeah, man. So speaking about that, so at what age did you start to gravitate towards rap music or music in general? Or
do
you remember? Would you listen to it as a kid?
So what's crazy is my biological father. He never picked me up on the weekends. My stepdad, who I called dad, picked me up every other weekend with my brothers and my sister, and he was always playing like the oldies So I knew every single, I mean, oldies song you could. I'm not talking like classic rock 70s. I'm talking like 50s.
Yeah.
I knew every oldie song there was, and he'd play like, you know, some of the classic rock. So automatically, I love music because it made me change. It changed my mood.
Yeah.
It changed. It made me remember certain songs. Make me remember where I was when I heard that song or how I felt.
Probably escape for you too at that time.
You know, but rap. I'm not gonna lie, and whoever's watching this can't lie if they're my age. I'm about to be 42. Yeah. You cannot lie if you say you didn't have the Vanilla Ice cassette tape. I asked for that. I think I was in 7th grade, and I was like, "What is this?"
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and then I was like, "Oh, that's whack. This is fucking cool." Like, you know, like and the first CD I ever got was that Old Dirty Bastard. You know, his first album he ever did.
Oh, so that was your first rap CD you
I
bought?
I asked for it for Christmas because I know she would have to get it for me because I asked for shit this whole year. I want this CD. I said, Ma, I don't care if you don't give me anything else for Christmas. All I want is this CD.
Yeah.
And she said, what is it? I said, Old Dirty Bastard. And she said, what? Like, no. She got it for me. Like Wu-Tang and all that. Like, these are my favorite. You want to see something crazy? Gray. You know, Enter the 36 Chambers and then ODB's album.
That's the one you said front to back.
This
word for word.
I can literally recite this every ad lib, the skits, every lyric, all that. And I played that CD, and it had more scratches in it than a scratch off ticket. It had more. I mean, that thing was like a worn out old T-shirt that would see through. Yeah. And I mean that album made me be like, I'm gonna be a rapper, you know. Yeah. I also wanted to be a football player too. I wasn't good at baseball. I wasn't good at soccer. I wasn't good at basketball, but I was an animal at football. And those are the only two things I ever want to do. All I want to do was when all my buddies are driving around and I'm sitting shotgun in the back seat. If they play the old school 3-6 Mafia shit, I'm sitting there rapping every single word, man. Like I was like. You know, but I didn't start trying to rap until I was like, I didn't start writing raps till I was like a senior in high school.
Yeah, same here. And like, so when you said you played football, what was it? Was you like linebacker?
I was a halfback.
Halfback on offense.
I was a running back, and I was. I was really. It was the only sport I was ever naturally just good at, and I played for one of the biggest high schools in Illinois.
Well, plus it gave you a chance to get out some aggression too.
Yeah, I wanted to hit. That's all I wanted to do was hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, did you play Pop Warner middle school, high school?
I played from 2nd grade all the way through.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's cool. So you started writing raps when you was a senior. When do you remember? Like when it went from just writing raps to like, hey, I'm going to try to record something?
Yeah, so that house that I showed you in Joliet up on the hill, it's in between the first and the second projects.
Yeah. Right
there in the middle. And I worked at Menards when I was like 18 and 19 and because I lived in an apartment with Taman's mother. And she was pregnant at the time. And there was, that was in Joliet. And there was this black dude named Leon Edwards. He made beats. And I said, hey, man, I wrote this, and I rapped it to him. He was like, come by the studio and see, record. And, I showed up, like I said, in Harley Davidson boots and Levi's and like one of them old school, like, what are those things called? Those potato sack, like, hoodie things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I showed up in that. Huh? Is it a poncho?
Yeah.
So I showed up in that, and, it's a bunch of black dudes in the house, and they were just like, what? Who is this dude?
Yeah, who's this guy? Yeah.
And they just looked at me and were like, this guy, he's in the wrong spot. And I just remember I was so confident in what I wrote, but I wrote it without a beat. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't a seasoned rapper, Yeah. I was 18 years old, 19 years old. So maybe the
timing and the delivery.
So they played the beat, and I was so off beat. And I was probably off beat for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, he tried to help me, and so then I started writing 2 beats, and I was still off. It took me probably a year to find. And then after that, it took me. Honestly, I'm gonna fast forward, just jump real quick, and then we get back in your question. I quit rapping when I was 25 years old. I was done. I'm done with this shit.
It's not senior high school to 25. And
done.
You said,
I thought I made it at one point, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I had a song that got on the radio, and then nothing happened with that. We got, like I said, we got shopped around in New York. Nothing happened with that. I had not seen my son in 3 years. I was a terrible father. I had no money. I was living in the basement of one of my buddy's houses in Joliet. You know, and in this time I was the only white dude everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Because all I was doing was trying to rap, and back then there wasn't no white dudes in like this pocket where I live rapping.
Not really in general at that time. I mean,
it was very unpopular. And then you know when you told people are like, "What do you do?" and you're like, "I'm a rapper," and they're like, you know, and like your girlfriend's embarrassed to tell you, "What does he do? He's a rapper." It's like, what the fuck, dude? It's a joke. Yeah. It was looked at as like a weird joke or some shit. Or like, oh, you're a rapper, like Eminem, you know, like that.
Of course, yeah.
But anyways,
he was really it, like back then, you know, really.
So, 25, I said, fuck it. I don't know where I was going with that story, but that was it.
Yeah.
At 25, I said, fuck this shit, I'm done. And, I don't know where I was going with that. But.
So, in that time frame, do you want to talk about, like, when you did like the jail stuff? Do you want to? Was that
so that happened? So I was 24. I was 24 years old. My mom and her husband, her who she's still married to this day, and they went on vacation. My brother Danny still lived with my mom. So he's like, "Hey, we're having a party tonight." So I go over there, and long story short, it was the end of the night. Shit was getting rowdy. There were these guys in this apartment building that was butted up to my backyard, and they're you know talking shit and they're throwing shit down and everything like bottles and weird shit at us. And I'm about to leave, and as I'm leaving, I hear my brother's girlfriend be like, "Adam, Danny's climbing up the balcony." So I hop the fence, climb up the balconies with my brother, and we walk in. We open the door and walk in this apartment building. We start fighting these guys. My other brother kicks the door down. It's a big melee. It's a fight. And, you know, a lot of people, like the guys in the apartment got hurt. And we got charged. They tried to charge us with a home invasion. One of the guys ended up, we fought this for 2 years. So I was 24 when it happened. When the case was over, I was 26. In those 2 years, one of the dudes died of a drug overdose. The other one died with gang violence. He got shot. There was only one other guy who was still trying to press charges because he got his orbital broke and like lungs punctured and shit like this. They ended up dropping it down to aggravated battery, great bodily harm. And since we had never had any felonies on our records before, it was just they dropped it down to aggravated battery and great bodily harm, and we got probation. And people were pissed. Yeah. And it might have been because we're white. I've never said that in my life. I've actually never said that in my life. Who knows how it would have been? I'll tell you this though: if we would have been in Cook County, like Chicago area, Cook County, we wouldn't even been in court. It wouldn't even have been. We wouldn't even gotten in trouble. Yeah. But it was in Will County. Yeah. And we ended up getting charged with aggravated battery, great bodily harm, and stuff like that. I was on probation. After 2 years of this fight in this case, I was on probation for 3 months. Was in a bar. I had just got stabbed in the arm a week prior, and I felt this pain in my side because there was a fight breaking out. I'm in the middle of a fight. I felt this pain in my side. I'm like, I'm getting fucking stabbed again. My first reaction, I was like, boom. And it was a cop. He was tasing me. And his face, you know, blew up. He hit the ground. And as I turned around and looked, there's like 5 more cops. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And they beat the dog shit out of me, you know, all the way to jail. And so now I got aggravated battery and great bodily harm on a police officer while I was on probation. And they were like, no. Yeah. I was 26 years old. I fought that case for 2 years, bonded out after about, 4 months, 10 grand. It was a $100,000 bond, so we had to pay 10%, 10 grand. And then I fought that case for 2 years, and I pled out to a 3-year sentence. And I went downstate Jacksonville at 28 years old, right before my 29th birthday. And I did a year and a half. I came home when I was 30.
Because you said they give you good time.
Yeah, in Illinois. Yeah. So as long as it's not a Class X felony or above, mine was a Class 1, which is right before a Class X. You do basically, if it's a 10-year sentence, you do 5, 5, 2.5, 3, year and a half, same shit. So,
so all that happened. You do a year and a half. You finished that. When you come out, is it flat? Did you flat like when you was in there? Did you flatten your sentence? You didn't come out on probation again or anything?
No,
like
I came out on parole.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So just for everyone out there, just for some perspective, to people, I've been in and out of jail since the day I could go to jail. Since the day I was legally able to go to jail, I was in and out of jail my whole teenage years and 20s and everything. But to go to prison, a year and a half to most guys that do hard time, 10, 15, 20 years, a year and a half is like nothing.
Right.
For me to be gone a year and a half, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is real life. This is real life.
Yeah.
This is fucked. But looking back on it, prison was probably the best thing that ever happened in my life, you know. Just made me, I worked out every day. I learned things about myself and other people, watching people and things like, you know, you just watch how people move. And it just made me mentally strong, physically strong. And I came home and I was bound and determined just to work my ass off. And it was a long road, you know what I mean? It was a long fucking road. I mean, I started like in my brother's basement, you know what I mean? I had nowhere else to go.
And is that when you was working at the
mill? I didn't start there. No,
Okay.
When I got home from prison, I was shoveling
whatever you could get.
I was shoveling snow in the winter.
Yeah.
The only dude that could speak English, you know, was a lot of Hispanic guys. I was towing cars. I was mowing lawns.
Yeah.
I was cleaning carpets, which was the most degrading job. You go into these people's houses and they're like beautiful houses, and you're in there with this steamer just cleaning their carpets, and they're looking at it. It's just,
Yeah.
I hated that fucking job.
Because
But
with you having the record, was it?
I
hard?
couldn't get shit, you know.
Yeah.
And when I finally did get into the union and into the plant that I worked at, my buddy had called me, Eric, thank you. He said, "Hey, do you want a job? If you show up right now, they'll give you the job." I said, "What about my background?" They said, "They don't care. Just show up." I left everything I was doing. I showed up and right on the spot, and I started the next day. And I was on like a 90-day probation, and if I made it through the 90 days, then I got hired, and I thought that's it. I thought that was my goal. And I didn't have a car, so I walked to the train station a couple miles every day, got downtown, and hopped on the L and took that out to Inglewood, Chicago, which was like one of the worst probably the worst neighborhood in Chicago. And that's where the plant was, and that's where I thought I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. I got my son. I got a job. I got insurance. I got benefits. You know, after like a year working there, I got a car.
Stability was just finally starting to get.
Yeah, you know, and Margie was around back then, and you know we were able to afford this little duplex, little shithole, but she polished it up and put glitter on it and made it look like a home.
Yeah.
You know. Do I sound just so fucking depressed?
No, man.
Talking?
No, dude.
I'm like listening to myself. I'm like, man, motherfucker.
It's your story though, dog. We're fixing to get to. It's fixing to start picking up though.
So Margie. So there's this tattoo on my arm. I don't know if you can see it, and it's a lighthouse. And on the bottom where the stone is, there's an M, and that's for Margie. Because I would be coming home and it'd be dark as fuck. It'd be 8 and 9 o'clock, and that train would be pulling in not at night. And no matter if it was 5 feet of snow out or raining or whatever the fuck, I'd always see her headlights, and I just felt so taken care of. I was freezing. My clothes were soaked, and I smelled like shit. But Margie was there to take me home. And
that's the symbolism of the tattoo.
Yeah.
The lighthouse and that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
She was there when, it's going on 8 years. She was there, you know, through all the alcohol and going out and not coming home on the week. I wouldn't even come home. I was a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
I've been searching, I guess, my whole life for something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's probably goes back to what you were saying when you was younger, man. It was just like that. It was that void. You know what I'm saying? Like you were talking about that you were, and the chip on your shoulder. And
Yeah, but you know what's crazy though? Like, you know how many motherfuckers grow up with no dad? That ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like first world problems. You know what I mean?
It just affects everybody differently, I guess.
It didn't. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't. It's like, okay, cool. You didn't grow up with your dad. Big fucking deal. Get over it.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Oh, you had it rough. You didn't get everything you wanted when you were little. Get over it. And that's how I am now. Like, motherfucker, you're 42 years old. You can't. There's a time in your life where you got to make a decision. Are you gonna let whatever the fuck how you were like? You're an adult now.
Yeah.
It's now it's on you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you went without. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that all that shit happened because it made me not be a fucking pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, So yeah, man. I don't fucking know.
Well, that. So you worked. How long did you work at the mill for?
I think 7 years.
Okay.
I worked up to where I had 2 weeks. I almost said good time. 2 weeks vacation.
Well, that is good time. I guess.
Good time. You know, I mean, man, there was times where, I mean, we were doing shit there that OSHA, it was illegal. Like, I would clock in, I would work 18 hours some days, sleep at the plant for 4 hours, wake up, clock back in, and work another 18-hour day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can't, you're not, that's,
for sure.
you can't even do that.
Dude.
So, there was, I mean, I was working, dude. Like, I was working. And, yeah, I mean, I worked my way all the way up I started off in the drum house, which is a hell, fucking hell, hot as fuck in the summer. I'm talking like if it's 90 degrees out, it's 120 in there.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 12 degrees outside, it's fucking below zero in there.
Yeah.
I started in there and I worked my way up to a better job, still in the elements inside outside, but like not as much hard labor. And that was it, man. That's where I thought I would just work the rest of my life, retire, die, and all that shit, you know?
Yeah. So what made you want to do the videos? Like, what kind of got that? Because that, obviously, you stopped doing music when you said you was 25.
Never even thought about music again.
And then the video stuff, was it just a whim thing? Like, you just pulled it, like...
Oh, like the viral video shit?
Yeah, because you started with that before, I mean...
Yeah, so,
before.
yeah, that was okay, so, see what I'm saying? Like, oh, you had it rough, you didn't have it rough. I didn't. Maybe I didn't have it rough. There was just some shit that pissed me the fuck off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what sparked my first viral video that I ever did, which was called Throat Punch, is I'm sitting in my little duplex that I pay $1,500 a month for, which was a shithole.
Yeah.
But Margie made it.
It was a glittery one.
It was a glittery shit.
Yeah.
And this was natural instinct for me.
Yeah.
I sat down to eat a bowl of cereal. I poured the cereal, went to the fridge, grabbed a gallon of milk, and Taman, little motherfucker, there's no milk in the fucking thing.
But it's still in the fridge.
Yeah. Like always, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I throw the fucking gallon of milk into just across the fucking kitchen, walk over to the sink, like instinctually, and just poured the fucking water from the faucet into my cereal, and sat down and started eating my cereal. And then I thought to myself, because that's what I did when we were kids. If you woke up too late or you were the last one to eat breakfast and there was no more milk, you used water. That was it.
Yeah, just like.
Now is that rough? Is that rough? I don't fucking know. There's kids that can't even that have to walk fucking 10 miles just to get clean water. So is that rough? I don't fucking know. Whatever. Yeah. But that's what it was. And as I'm eating my cereal, it's Raisin Bran, so that shit gets soggy quick in milk. In water, that shit gets soggy fast.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there eating my cereal, boom, 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 and I'm thinking, I make $27 an hour, which isn't crazy, right? I make $27 an hour, and I'm still eating cereal with fucking water in it. So something sparked in my head, and I had a little Cricket. I had no credit. I had negative credit. I had a Cricket wireless phone, Droid, shitty fucking quality, whatever. And I hit record, and I go, you know what? And I start talking about today's generation versus when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I said all these little, when I was a kid, I knew where all my friends were by where all the bikes were piled up. You know what I mean? I knew when I was a kid, my mom in the summertime locked the door. We're outside dying, and you turn on the faucet, and the water comes out the hose, and it burns your mouth until it's cold, and you're drinking out of the fucking, probably give you cancer. I don't know. But, I started doing all these things, and at the very end of the video, so I said, so if you got a little kid now who does stupid shit, like leaves the milk in the fridge and talks back to you, take your precious little kid, put your hand on the shoulder and punch him right in the fucking throat. And I went to work the next day. I think that was a Sunday, and I went to work the next day, and everyone's like, dude, did you see your video? That's crazy, man. Like, how'd you do that? And I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. I just posted it on Facebook, and I wasn't on like social media like.
Yeah, you just posted it.
Yeah.
Like, probably didn't even title it or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, I think I just said punch your kid or something like that or some shit.
Yeah.
And it had like 5 million views in 24 hours. So then I was like, I started trying to duplicate what I just had done. Yeah. And nothing worked. And then I did a video with my son about raising, your kid, your son, and it, boom, viral. And then I did one more with my son after that went crazy viral. It was like when a fuckboy wants to meet your daughter. Yeah. And after that video, I made one viral video a week for 1 year straight on Facebook.
So Facebook's where it started.
Yep.
It wasn't even
not YouTube.
You didn't even.
I didn't even fucking have a YouTube.
Yeah.
I had a YouTube, but I didn't.
Right.
Know how to what the fuck I was doing. All I knew was I was making these funny videos, and I was still going to work every day. I worked every day. Even the guys at the plant were like, "Oh, I saw that video of Punch Your Kid. I saw this video. I saw the Whoa Vicky video when I went down to see Ryan. I was still working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That everyone loves that video. No, I'm sorry, not the Whoa Vicky video. The Antifa comrades. That fucking video. I was still working when I went down there. I think I was on at the tail end of not having to work anymore. It's because I started selling shirts. And I started making money where I was like, I get a check in the mail for like $50,000. And I was like, whoa, hold up.
You sell them like what? You made like a website?
So Grunt Style, which is the worst company ever.
Mm-hmm.
Their shit's not made in America. They sold the company to all these like corporate people. They don't even give a shit about America.
Yeah.
They're not. They used to be all about the military and America and all this. Now they're about money. That's it.
Yeah.
Like most businesses are now in America. But I started with them. They're like, They saw all my viral videos. They're like, hey, would you like to have your own like shirts and apparel? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, anything you sell, you get 25% of. And I was like, okay. So they put all my shirts on their website. And in that first year, I did $400,000.
Oh, my God.
Which means they did $1.6 million.
What was it, just sayings from the video?
Yeah, I had a shirt that said, like, Beard Gang. Like, beard.
Yeah. And
it had, like, a pistol on the R.
Yeah.
And I had, like, Titty Tuesday shirts.
See,
and
I didn't even know those. Okay.
The originals were those were
your
through
design.
Grunt Style. Those were all mine. Yeah, those were mine, It was way more shirts than that. I had crazy shirts that did big numbers. And so one day, now we're not in the duplex. Now we're living in a townhouse. And we're living in a townhouse now with bricks. It had bricks on the outside.
Yeah.
It was nice, tile inside it and stuff. And Taman's now, he's a sophomore in high school. And I go to the mailbox and I get this check from Grunt Style. And it's like $50,000. I call him. Hey, you guys sent me the wrong check. I think it's, they're like, no, that's for this month. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah. Holy fuck. That's what I made last year.
Yeah. And you made that in 1 month.
1 month.
Selling t-shirts.
So I go to work and I go, Tim Campbell, who I still talk to this day. I was a motherfucker at that job. I mean, I was getting in fist fights with truck drivers outside of the plant. Because truck drivers without them, we don't have shit. But some of these guys are very impatient and shit.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And I'm like, I would butt heads with these guys, and we were fighting. But after that, I always have been fighting because I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't won every fight either.
Yeah.
I'm not tough.
Yeah.
I'm just not scared.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was a motherfucker in there in that plant. You know, the guys love me to this day. They root for me now. They hated that I left and hated on me like, you're never gonna make it. You'll be back. But anyways, to this day, Tim Campbell, the plant manager who gave me a shot to work there and who put his neck on the line when I got into a fist fight with a fucking truck driver in the parking lot, and I thought I was gonna get fired. I kept my job. Thank you, Tim. But what was I saying? What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, so I get this check. I go into work to Tim Campbell, the plant manager, and I'm like, Tim, I don't think I can come into work anymore. He's like, what do you think? What do you mean? What do you think you can't? I said, I just got a check them out for $50,000, and they know the situation, what I was doing. He's like, that's gonna go away, you know, and all the guys in the plant, like, that's gonna go away. I said, listen, if I get another big check, and I did, the next check was like $60,000-$70,000.
So it was even more. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like
2 years, more than 2 years of your salary in 2 months.
You know, and then it went back down. It was like $20,000 a month after that. I had like a huge spurt, and then it would just even out. So that year I made like $430,000. But I went to Tim and said, hey, listen, I can't work here no more, man. Like, I'm gonna go. I don't know what it is that I'm doing, but I'm gonna go try to build it bigger. And I said, I'll give you however much time you need, and I'll train up the next guy to take my spot.
Which is real.
That's
real shit.
Well, I mean, I worked my whole life.
Yeah.
I worked my whole life, and that's what you don't get. You give a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
But I gave him a 2 weeks notice, but I ended up staying for a month to help.
Yeah.
You know, and then I left, and the guys talked a lot of shit about me behind my back when I was gone, and now they're just fucking, dude, fucking keep. You know, it's I still go in there to this day, and you know, I bring either donuts for you know, I go in there about twice a year. Either donuts or lunch for the guys, the whole plant. Yeah.
So you said you decided you're done with your job because of what you're doing with the merch. When did you transfer all that to where it started getting the buzz on YouTube? Did you already know Ryan at this time, or was this before Ryan and all?
No. I had met Church right at the tail end of my, you know, clocking in, going to work every day career.
Yeah.
At the plant. And when I was down there, he was recording a rap song. And it was that Black on Black, Johnny Cash. So while he's down there, while he's writing, it's when he lived in the trailer. He had a studio on the side of the trailer in Ashland City over there, Cheatham County.
Yeah.
So Ryan's writing or rapping. He's already wrote his shit, and he's rapping the Black on Black Johnny Cash. And as he's doing that, I'm writing on a piece of paper. I'm like, you got a pen and paper? So I start writing. And while he was in his break and he was in his phone, he's like, you know, thinking of more shit. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not just fucking around, just writing some rap shit. And he's like, you know how to rap? And I was like, I mean, I rapped a lot when I was, you know, back in the day. He's like, no. And Ryan's like he's always interested in shit that he doesn't know. Like, if he doesn't know something, he wants to learn.
For sure.
You know? So, he's like, come here, rap that shit. And I was like, I mean, I'm no, you know, being in the studio is the thing that I'm used to. So I just put the headphones on and started, you know, as band play, hit the fucking thing, and I started spitting, and he's like, fuck, no fucking way. So I'm rapping on the Black on Black beat, and, you know, it was like, he just went back to doing what he was doing, and he was just like, that was so cool. He's like, you're like that old school shit. That's dope, you know? Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it was like we didn't even skip a beat. He finished the song. We went to sleep, you know, woke up the next day, went and rode around, and we didn't even talk about it again. But I came home, and I was like, I spent my whole fucking life being uncomfortable in these fucking, you know, just in shitty positions and shitty neighborhoods and fucked up, like, and I spent so much of my life fucking rapping in battle raps and like in just, and now this white kid, he's out in the middle of the woods and he's rapping.
Yeah.
Huh. I was like, I want in.
And you hadn't wrote a rap in what?
Fuck no.
10 years?
Yeah, that shit was dead to me.
Yeah.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's wearing jeans. He's wearing the shit that I first wore when I walked into the studio when I was 18 years old, 19 years old. He's wearing boots, some Levi's.
Yeah.
He's wearing the same shit that I wore. But then I stopped. I had to fit into the black culture because I had to be accepted.
Yeah.
And earn my stride. And to be accepted, you had to fucking.
That's just how it
That's
was.
just
at that
what it
time
was.
frame. Yeah.
So I traded in my black fucking Harley boots and I was wearing, you know, baggy jeans.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite athlete's jersey. Fucking, that's, I mean, I like dressing like that too, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just see this dude doing this young kid doing it. Because Ryan, I think, was probably only like 25, 24 when I met him.
I'm trying to think of how many. He had already put out the Cheatham County EP.
Yeah, but the Black on Black, he recorded this way before he even
gotcha.
put it out.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going back home and finally seeing the video like a year later or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's dope too that your first time back, even though you didn't rap a verse on the actual song, was a band play beat.
Yeah.
He's killing it now.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I just was like, this is fucking nuts. It was like a full circle. It was like, so wait, I could just dress how I want and rap about what I want. It don't matter where I'm from. I don't got to go to the hood to rap. I don't got to get, like, acceptance from the, you know, urban community. Yeah. I could just do what I want. But now I still, I said this earlier, and even Ryan and everyone, I don't know any white rapper that doesn't pay homage to the roots that they grew up listening to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you go walk around my whole house, you're going to see paintings. You're going to see a Goody Mob painting. You're going to see an Old Dirty Bastard painting. That exact album, I had my buddy paint it. This is an oil painting. One of one. It's my favorite, probably the favorite thing I own. And it's right across from Gray's room. He comes out to, I mean, this is what made me want to rap, is this shit right here.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, dude. That's cool. ODB.
You're gonna see a Wu-Tang, the whole actual Wu-Tang Clan painting. You're gonna see Bob Dylan. You're gonna see Led Zeppelin. You always pay homage, you know, to the dope. You're gonna see a Jay-Z blueprint too. I gotta show you that painting.
Yeah.
You always pay homage to the shit. I wouldn't have never started rapping if I didn't hear these black dudes rapping. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just went off on a fucking tangent. But
No,
basically I saw this dude doing this and I went home and said, I can do this. Yeah. I know I can do this because I did this already.
In a different environment.
Way different.
This one is more my environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already did this shit, so I know I can do this shit. And I went home and I started recording.
Yeah.
And then I think people thought it was a joke. People didn't know my backstory. People thought I was just some comedian dude that was gonna rap.
Doing Facebook videos. And
yeah,
shit.
And they didn't understand. Like, dude, I was on fucking food stamps.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know where my next meal was gonna come from. I didn't know whose couch I was gonna sleep on next. I didn't know. That's how far I chased this shit down. That kid you saw, Sueno, he lives in my house now.
Yeah.
Because he has nowhere to go. That's the fucking. If you want to make it, at least back in the day, that was the path you took. Was like, most motherfuckers don't take that path because you have to give up you have to be willing. You might not have to give up everything, but you have to at least be willing to give up everything to make your dreams come true. For most people.
Yeah.
So I wrote, we did that first album. Americal. And it went crazy. And the first single off that album was Right Back to My Guy, and Ryan Upchurch, who I have to always give props to, and without him, I wouldn't have got back in. And that song went to this day it's a platinum record.
It just recently, right?
Yeah, it did it did over 150 million. So
yeah, tell them what platinum actually.
Okay, so to break it down, so it used to be back in the day, you bought CDs physically. You went to the store and bought them. If an album went 500,000 CDs sold, that was a gold album. Right. If you sold 1 million or more, that's platinum, 10 million diamond. Yeah. Okay, now the industry we're in now, it's all streaming. Yeah. And digital sales, like if you buy my CD on iTunes or Google Play or whatever the fuck, it's all streaming shit, and not many people buy digital albums.
Yeah, it's all streaming.
Now it's all geared towards streaming. Yeah. So what they do now in the industry is they make it, you could have 20 songs on your album, but the way they figure it is 10 songs, 750 million streams is a gold album. So that means for a record, one single song to go gold, it has 75 million streams. Because 75 million times 10 is 750 million. So 75 million is a gold record song, single, however you want to say it.
You're breaking down gems right now because I was wondering how all that worked with the streaming.
So now that motherfucker streamed over 150 million.
And that's over all platforms?
Over all. Shopify, Pandora, however, Apple Music, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Whatever you stream your shit on, over 150 million streams. So that's twice. That's not 75 million is gold, 150 million is platinum.
So it's clearly your most streamed song.
Yes.
Currently.
Yeah. Well, it's the oldest. It's over 4 years old. But it took 4 years for that motherfucker to get there. Now, Catch Hell is gold, and no, there's one more. I'd have to pull it up on my. I have a total of two gold, and one platinum. Yeah.
So you dropped America in 2018.
Yeah.
Your first official release, I guess, because back in the early 2000s, you put out stuff like. Just in the
CD that I showed you.
Yeah. So that one did. So you saw that, and then how did you see your fan base grow? Because yours is similar to Ryan in the sense of you blew up off of a viral video initially, then came the music. Yeah. Which is what Ryan was saying in the interview we did with him too. So like, how did you see that as far as the growth? Was a lot of it obviously your supporters from the viral videos? And then...
So I think it was a combination. I think it was... I was able to sell a lot. I was able to stream a lot and sell a lot of digital records because I had a huge platform in Facebook. Yeah. And I had a huge platform in Snapchat. And I had a decent following in Instagram. And then I started to get a good following in YouTube. I probably had at this time 250, 300,000 followers on YouTube. So you combine all those together, and that album did really fucking well. Yeah. To date, it's the best performing album I've ever done. But it's also the oldest. Right. If you talk to me 4 years from now, I would say that the Tom MacDonald album will be the most performing, and this album about to drop is going to be my best. I think the best solo album I drop will be this one I'm dropping. Yeah. What were we talking about?
You were talking about your first album, America.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the success of it.
It was good. It was a great album. I mean, it was amazing, and I got, obviously, I also think too, not just with my fan base. I mean, that's a big cosign from church. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. People don't give props out like motherfucker, if you got help, you gotta show love, you know what I'm saying? But now there's a lot of people, church did a lot of features for people and they didn't do shit. Yeah. I kept going and I was like, how many albums does church drop? So that's why every year I was dropping 3 albums, 2 albums, 3 albums.
So I was just fixing to say,
50 music videos, dude. This is about to be my 11th album in 4 years.
Yeah, because you dropped The Throne, which is your second album. You dropped that in November of the same year, 2018.
Yeah, and that's another thing. People can have one hot year. Demon Jones said it best. He was like, anyone could do one good year.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to follow that up and follow that up and follow that up and keep fucking going.
Yeah.
And I had to keep doing my funny videos and everything else to keep, you know, the people interested.
Was the merch still doing what it...
And then I said, fuck you to Grunt Style and started this shit fucking... I had my guys come in the basement. And we started printing shirts out of the basement.
So that's how that started.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other...
And then we came into this basement. This whole basement used to be a gigantic fucking factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So everything I ever did, I was like, motherfucker, I'm not gonna lose, you know. So when I went to work, I was the best worker at that plant.
Yep.
When I don't give a fuck if I work at Taco Bell, I'm gonna make the tacos the best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna outwork and try to beat everyone at every fucking thing. It might not always happen, but it's a good way to fucking be. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. For sure.
And that's the thing. I've been chasing motherfucker Church. I've been chasing that motherfucker down my whole, you know, 4-year stretch career. This is why I gotta drop these albums. You gotta drop these albums because I just dropped an album last year and people are just finding out that I have all these other albums. And they've been following me for years. Yeah. We're independent. We don't get that radio play. We don't get that push. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so going back to I just want to tie this in because Demon's on the first album as well.
Yeah.
Did you meet Demon through church?
No.
Okay.
So actually, I met Demon through Just in Time.
Okay. So because you did, was it did you do a feature for Justin? Was that around the same time? That was
no.
Okay.
So I had just stopped working.
Yeah.
I already had met Church. Justin asked me if I wanted to come out to a redneck rave in Michigan.
Okay. And
if I would like ride around and like get on stage and say some shit and here he'll give me some, you know, $500,000. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So I went, and again, nobody knows I'm a rapper. So right, so Demon's up there doing sound check, and Taman's with me, and I'm like, stop. You hear that? He's like, yeah, what? I'm like, dude, that man's up there rapping with no back vocals. That's unheard of. I said, I bet he doesn't do it when he performs.
Yeah.
So, and no one knows I know about rap shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I
they
do
think you're the Facebook video.
Yeah, they just think I'm a funny guy.
Yeah.
So I party with everyone. I'm riding around in the mud with everyone. I'm doing the whole thing, and I get up and I do some shit. I throw water at the crowd and hype them up, and everyone's freaking out because, you know, I'm there. And then Demon Jones comes up to perform. So I already know to walk out in front of the stage, back, so I can hear.
Mm-hmm.
And shit starts. This motherfucker is rapping with no back vocals.
Yeah.
Just him. And he's going.
Yeah.
And he does a whole hour set with like maybe an ad lib here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was over, and I go up to him. I'm like, hey, man, I'm Adam Calhoun. He goes, oh, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, dude, I just got to tell you, I never seen nobody do that before.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what do you mean? I said, you just rapped the whole damn set with like no backtrack of your vocals. And he's like, well, I had a couple ad-libs. You know, Demon's very like...
Very humble.
Yeah. And he's like, but that's so cool that you even noticed, man. Thank you, man. And that was it. That's how I met Demon. That was the first time I ever met Demon. And I kept in contact with him ever since.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you meet anybody else at the rave initially? Was that how you met Jelly or Strug? Or
No.
That was later. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And so you got to figure, I met Church first, Just in Time, Demon.
Okay. And then when you did the Throne album at the end of 2018, apparently I guess you had met Strug somewhere there because he was on Old Train. He was on the Throne album.
So I was in...
Rodnex as well, yeah.
So I was in... Is Church on the Throne?
Is he on the Country?
He's on the Throne.
Yeah, he's on the song
Okay,
Country.
so there we
Demon.
go. So okay, I was like, how did... So we're in Nashville, because I'm recording with Church. I'm
Gotcha.
recording that track with Church, and Demon had just left, so it's just me and Church. So I think I stayed at his house for like a couple days. So we're where Stoner used to record, which is not. I think he's in in Franklin or something like that. That's not where he recorded. This was like
older
this was like back in a I don't even know what the fuck you'd call it, like a construction. There was like construction in the back. I believe there was like a train thing, and there was it was like this just nook back here in like this industrial park kind of thing. And I'm recording with Church, whatever, we record the country song, and somehow I don't remember how me and Struggle might, but I think it was maybe just through DMs on Instagram, you know what I mean? And I just remember, this is what I do remember, and Struggle might not remember this, is when he came to write his verse, he showed up and he was, hey, Bubba, he's always happy and smiling and everything, and he disappeared, and I was like, what the fuck? He went out to his SUV to write his verse. He didn't want to, he wrote his verse out there. So he could vibe out to it and like hear it louder and everything like that. Because I am getting like some little bit of writer's block because I was everyone. I'm the new guy. Yeah. Church is in here, Stoner's in here. I'm not used to recording with Stoner. Now Struggle's in here. All these guys, and I'm the new guy. But
you're on album too.
Yeah, but I'm the new guy. But I'm also like I'm like smoking right now. You know what I'm saying? So I go out to my truck, and when I go out to my truck, Struggle's out there with Taboo, and anyways, he comes back in. Struggle goes in the fucking booth, lays his verse down, one take, comes out, and I was just like, the fuck? You're not doing no like stacks, no in and outs, no nothing?
He just did one track vocal? Yeah.
Boom, done. And I go like this. I was like, let me hear it real quick. They play it. I was like, do it one more time. He goes, one more time? I was like, yeah. He goes, do it one more time. And he walked in there, and he laid it again. And it was probably the exact same, literally the exact same. And he came out. I was like, play it again? I was like, cool, yeah, that's awesome. He's like, you good, Bubba? And then I talked to Struggle ever since, yeah.
That's good. And, of course, we'll get into the collab albums, too, because you've got a good amount of them, too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Broadnax is on there as well. I want to say you spoke, not only it was off camera, but about you met him at the rave as well. Or was it a different one?
Well, so then John, so I go, so I already know Justin. And me, and people say, I don't know, maybe anymore, but people have said things about Justin. Justin does his own thing and doesn't, what I mean by his own thing, like Justin's the guy wearing like a shiny fucking glittery coat, jacket, shiny teeth, fucking big, tall, goofy looking, buzzard looking motherfucker. Yeah. And, that's one thing in this thing is people all have their own opinions or talk shit about other people, whatever. Justin's never done anything or done anything even close to disrespect or be unloyal or anything like that. So I'll always have his back forever.
Yeah.
But
Justin's good people, man.
He's always been good to me.
Me too.
I can't say anything different. So I'm in Louisiana. I'm in this fucking shithole mud fucking pit, and I'm on the side of the stage, and I see this dude up there rapping, and I'm like, who is that? And he's like, what do you mean? That's so and so. And I'm like, no, not that fuck. Who's that guy next to him? He's like, I don't know. I think he's OG or some shit. They call him OG or some shit. I'm like, is he rapping? He's like, nah, he don't really rap no more. He's just up there helping dude out. And I was like, no, that dude is the dude. That's the dude. Mm-hmm. Like that motherfucker he's up there doing his John thing and he's rapping the other rap he's the guy that looks like the motherfucker, right? Right. So I'm like, go tell him to come over here when he's done. So I get doing my thing, whatever. Finally, John comes to me and goes, I think he even said like Mr. Calhoun, like that, And I was like, "What's up, dude? Like, what? You rap or what?" He was so excited to show me like all his old CDs and fucking that he had.
Old Texas freestyle.
Yeah, and like all types of shit. And he had like his own little stickers and all this fucking weird shit. And I'm just like, come to Illinois and get on this my project. I want you to be on my project, you know. So he came up to Illinois like that.
Yeah.
And I remember, and that's one thing a lot of people could tell you about me is because I've been beaten so bad in the booth, like by my engineer that I had, this Steve Anderson, he's a legend in Chicago. Every take I do, nope, 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 nope. So now Stoner, when I'd record with Stoner, I'd record my shit and be like, that wasn't good, right? He goes, why do you always say that? My first reaction is, I got to re-record that because of my fucking
Just
Steve.
PTSD.
Fuck you, Steve. So, so I'm brutal with people who record with me. It's got to be exact.
Yeah.
So John comes, he's rapping. No, John, you know, and I open the booth, he's drenched the fucking glass. You know, we're in Chicago at Private Stock, Fort Knox, big ass fucking building, 1 million square feet. The studios are all crazy. Yeah. The glass. You can't even see this motherfucker. It's all fogged up. He's got steam coming off. I'm not even fucking... This is no exaggeration. This motherfucker's running hot. And I'm like, dude, the fuck? He's like, well, I'm like, come on. You know, I had to get him out of the booth, walk him outside, cool him down. He comes back in, fucking same shit again, sweating, fucking shit, and just murders. John is one of the best rappers I've ever been around, and he's a motherfucker because he's a good rapper, but his voice makes him so much doper. But he's one of the dopest rappers. Plus, he's got a cool fucking voice
for sure.
So he ends up crushing the fucking verse, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking monster. And John, I think, has been on like with this album. I think this is the 4th fucking album he's been on. You know. Yeah, man. And I end up signing John with a 1 album deal and pushed him as hard as I could. You know, I took a guy with 0 subs on Instagram, 0 subs on YouTube, 0 everything. 0. He wasn't even rapping anymore. Yeah. He literally was helping his buddy out. Yeah. Being the hype man. Yeah. And so I take a older man my age with a fucking big ass gray beard. I got all the faith in the world, and we put that project out. It hits number 2 on iTunes. You know, he's got Strug on the album, Mercury's on the album, I'm on the album.
Great album, too.
Yeah, dope album. And it's still his only album, but I know he'll be putting out more.
For sure.
You know, me and him butt heads because we're both motherfuckers. You know, he's an angry motherfucker, dude. He's a sweetheart, the softest talking guy you'll ever meet. Yeah. You piss him off and see what you get out of there. Yeah. Because me and him, you know, we're gonna sharpen each other's. We're sitting there, we're just running them blades, sharpening them bitches. I mean, if you don't got guys around you that are doing that, then you're a bitch and you don't got the right motherfuckers around you. So me and John butted heads a lot and fight a lot, and now it's like we're brothers, and we throw darts at each other. Yeah. And I got you, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he went and did his own thing, and I still treat him like he's my artist. Yeah. If he needs help, I got you.
Because y'all are family at this
That's
point.
My brother, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going. I'll give him my pillow. You know, I'll help him with any advice he needs, and I'll kill some. You know, it's not all about being tough. I'm saying, like I said, I'll give you my cover. I'll give you my whatever you need from me, and if you need me to show up to do some fucked up shit, let's go. Yeah. Because I know those type of guys, they're never doing fucked up shit to people. Right. But if they ever needed a motherfucker, I'm going to show up. Yeah. But they're never going to put me in a fucked up position. And those are the guys that I love to be around. And now John is absolutely fucking murdering it. And you're never going to find one person that's met John that's going to be like, nah, I don't like that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. For sure. Speaking of going back to brothers, so we're in 2019 now, and it looks like in February you and Demon dropped Crazy White Boy, the EP. Yeah. Was that just nightmare? It just didn't like recording it, or just the process? the backlash. Oh, of calling it that? Yeah. Okay. I had no fucking clue. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Demon, I don't think was thinking anything of it. Yeah. Great project. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm happy that I did it. 5 songs of fire for sure. You know, Church is on there. Yeah, Church again is on that project. We did the World Went to Waste 2.0 version. Which you was performing on your set at all the shows. People go crazy over that song. Yeah.
So did that just come about with you and him? Just y'all just vibed on a couple of records and like, hey, let's do it?
I love Demon.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I call him Leonard, after my grandfather.
Yeah.
Like when we're on tour, like Demon could be across the room, fucking talking to 30 people, can't barely hear shit. If I go, "Hey Leonard," he knows him.
Yeah.
He's like yelling after a dog or something.
Yeah.
Like I call him Leonard. When we're on tour, if I say Leonard, he knows. Like usually I'm fucked up, or I'm in a bad mood, or some shit, and I'll just be like, I don't know, Leonard. Like that's who he is to me. He's all the knowledge, all the good. It's hard for me to respect another man. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
You understand? That shit has to be earned, and it has to be earned through acts, not words. And I have a hard time trusting people. Demon is one of the greatest humans I've ever met. He reminds me of my grandfather. I've learned more than I've learned from any other person I've ever met in this industry. No, I haven't. I've learned the most from Demon.
Yeah.
We've done so much shit together.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we went and spent. Well, I spent. Demon is not fun. I don't know. Demon is very good with his money. But like, you know, I spent fucking $100,000 on unopened boxes of like 80s baseball, football, basketball cards, and we opened them together. This motherfucker's eating gum out of the packs from 1987 or some shit like that.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know his family, his daughters, his story with his brothers, his dad, Rick. His dad's name is Rick. He calls his dad Rick because when he was a kid working and laying brick, he'd be like, Daddy, you know, always Dad. And Rick came to him and said, hey, don't call me Rick no more. We're on the job site. Or don't call me Daddy no more. We're on the job site. Call me Rick. So he just started calling Rick, his dad, Rick, for the rest of his life. To this day, he don't call him Dad. He call, hey, Rick.
Yeah. So he would be like your, like, I want to say mile marker as far as he's your go-to if you, whether it's advice. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Him and Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to Jelly Roll because that was later. But yes, Demon. I can call Demon right now and he'll come.
Yeah.
What else can you want me to say about the guy?
For sure. So y'all dropped that EP. It was really, really dope project.
It was the backlash from that project.
Just from the name, yeah.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't we got more backlash from media.
Yeah.
We were all over the news in California on tour, all over the news. They canceled all these fucking shows all over California. They canceled all these fucking shows all over the country. You know, I'm a homophobe and he's a homophobe. I don't even remember half the words. I'm a cis. I don't fucking. You know.
So that kind of.
And then on top of it, the tour we're on is called Crazy White Boy, and we're homophobic race. You know, it's crazy.
So it kind of was like an asterisk by that project because of the.
Just but it made us grow together as humans, and it made us grow apart. But it made us grow. It made us grow apart because Demon had to distance himself from me.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing. That's a thing I don't like to say, but he didn't have to distance himself from me. He had to, I think, publicly. We still talked every day.
No, I get it.
Publicly, for a little while, and I didn't understand, but now I do because this is his whole life.
Yeah.
His whole life.
Yeah.
Demon's been doing this shit for 20. Demon's been making money off of music for 20 years.
Yeah, man. Rehab.
Yeah.
The rehab.
So,
project.
but that made us closer.
Yeah.
Because finally, it was like enough. It was enough. The climate we're at now, with our country and politics and all this bullshit. Now it's like, fuck, I'm not giving up on my friends, and I'm not gonna hold back. You know, I'm gonna, if I have something to say, and I'm not speaking about me. Like Demon's at the point now where he's just like, man, this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's still respectful. He's still a gentleman. He still says things with elegance where I don't. I say shit like a sawzall just cut a 2x4, and I'm like, I say shit so fucking just how it comes out. Yeah. And sometimes people are like, I love that motherfucker. Some people are like, what? He's a fuck, you know. So it's like, this is just how I am, man. And that one thing people, I don't know how to not be like this.
Right. Well, anybody that knows you should know that it's not meant with.
No. The people that know me, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I said about Just in Time, I give my 100% loyalty to you unless I see you do some unloyal shit. That you're dead to me. Yeah. You're dead to me. Yeah. And I don't care. And I think that's because I grew up with. I'm used to not having motherfuckers around in my life or leaving me. So fuck you. You're gone. Yeah. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But me and Demon have grown so close over 5 years. He's my best. He's standing up in my wedding. He's my best friend.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool that you was able to speak about Demon like that.
Yeah.
Same year, we're going through things now. Same year, you dropped War, the War project.
So the Throne, Americal crushed it. The Throne crushed it, and War came out again, and we got. I think did that have Clean Money on it?
It had Clean Money. It had Crazy White Boy.
Yeah.
You only had one feature. It was Broadnext.
Yeah.
Dirt Road.
My only feature on the shit was John Broadnext.
Mr. Broadnext.
Yeah.
That's how far back y'all got. That's when he had the Mr. still.
So and that's another album. I got some big songs off that album too. Clean Money was a huge song off that album. So that's 3 albums that I dropped. Like Demon said, anyone could drop one good album. 3 albums in a row, like boom, 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 motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Well, then, bro, we're still in 2019. You and Church drop Hooligan.
That was in the same year as War.
It says November 25th, 2019.
Right at the end.
Black
I remember
Friday,
that was right at the
Thanksgiving
last. Yeah, I was like, can we drop it now? He's like, bro, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
That's classic, right?
Yeah.
Because he can, bro.
Yeah. I was like, oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're right. We can. I forgot. There's 2 of us.
Yeah.
So then me and Church dropped Hooligan. Yeah. That was, I wish we had like a videographer there to capture so much fucking cool shit.
Just the recording process?
Man, dude, so crazy. Like, and that was all recorded with Stone.
Oh, so Stoner produced that whole album?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Shout out Stoner. Yeah, and I'm sure that one probably did really well too.
Went fucking hammer.
Yeah.
So now you're talking 4.
Yeah.
Motherfucking albums in a row. Oh, and Crazy White Boy. Is that 5 now?
Yeah, I mean,
that's Crazy White Boy too. So that's 5 smokers, right? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm not missing anything because these are singles.
But then I'll tell you.
Okay, here we go.
After the 5, I'm gonna tell you where I fell off, where I think I fell off, and numbers kind of fucking were like.
Is it when we go to Billy Goat?
Yeah.
Okay, so March 2020. So 5 months after you and Church dropped.
Yeah.
You dropped Billy Goat,
Yeah.
and March 24th of 2020 had Jelly, Broadnext, Mercules on the album.
Yeah.
What was it about that one that you felt like it kind of took a? You said it just took a dip, or?
No, my numbers didn't dip.
Okay.
That specific album though.
Which made just your
didn't perform like the other albums did.
Okay.
But my numbers on Spotify just kept going up. But that album itself didn't perform. It still hit number 1 on iTunes. Still hit number 1 on like Heat Seekers, Billboard, on not independent. It hit I think it hit like 5 different number 1s or something like that.
Was it just you personally? You felt like it didn't.
No. So this is what happened. I just released 5 huge albums for this genre.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on fire. And then, but I kept having this problem. I would get so miserable recording process. Because I was like, these motherfuckers think I can't rap. Like, they think I'm just like, he's that country rapper. He's a hick hopper. I'm like, hick hop? The fuck? Fuck the hick hop. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, these motherfuckers think I cannot rap. I was like, all right. So Billy Goat it's a picture of me with a lynx fur on my head.
Yeah, and I'll put all these graphics up whenever we go through them. On
and
the
it's
video
got a
too.
black label through my eyes.
Yeah.
That's because Griselda, when they dropped their albums and shit, and Benny the Butcher and stuff, I thought that was so dope in their Mr. Bird's video.
Yeah.
All the models had these black stripes across their eyes. They were like censored out.
Yeah.
And in the album that was censored out. So I was like, I'm gonna try to put hip hop, rap, and hip hop, and sprinkle just a little of the country shit.
Okay.
I don't want to be considered a country rapper. You guys think that's, yeah, I can do that all day long.
Yeah.
You know, but I love rap.
I'm a Wu-Tang.
Yeah, man. Fucking
ODB,
Black
yeah.
Rob, fucking,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Dipset,
saying?
like,
Dipset,
you're
fucking
that at heart.
Cameron, Big
Right.
L, fucking Jay-Z, fucking Pac, Biggie, fucking, you know.
I get why you feel slighted by getting talked like, because
It's like, you can do this, but you can't rap. Like, you're a country rapper, but you can't rap.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, I was battling. I mean, dudes had bangers and pistol stumpers on these motherfuckers. Like, I'm battling in the hood, dog, outside of Currency Exchange with fucking subwoofers set up and a corded mic on some fucking, you know, dude. So I'm like, you know, motherfucker. All right, cool. So I dropped that album and I tried to distance myself from country rap, and what's on that album? Starter Cap.
Bro, the one with you and Jelly, A Dream. I love that song.
Yeah, that
dope.
didn't do that good. Is Starter Cap on that song? Or on that
Starter
album?
Cap, yep.
Starter Cap.
Low, Gunner with Mercules is on there.
Which that verse is crazy. My verse on that is
I like the Klonopin song too.
Well, so that song after years has started performing really well.
Okay.
But that album has a couple verses on there, which you always hear me be like, I fucking hate that verse. I hate that verse. I hate that song. I can't stand. I'm not the kind of guy that where I jump in a truck, I'm like, hey, you want to hear my music? Like, fuck, turn that shit off. Yeah. I already had to spend hours writing it and recording it and then listening to the master mixing. And by the time that shit's shooting music videos, I don't ever want to hear that song again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I dropped Billy Goat and it just, I missed. I went too far. The people just missed it. They didn't get it. You know, they want that aggressive, tough, you know. I call it white boy shit, honestly. Yeah. You know, that's what they want.
Yeah.
You know what was the album? Oh, sorry, you go. You asked.
No, you're good, Bubba. So, less than 3 months later, you and Strug dropped y'all's first collab project. Y'all dropped Legend,
which is which did about the same. It did a little bit better than Billy Goat, and that album has some of my favorite verses I've ever wrote on that album.
Yeah.
But that album, I love that album.
Yeah, it's great, man.
But that album didn't do. It did a little bit better than Billy Goat.
Yeah. So that was.
I'm being real right. I'm telling you guys the real numbers, the real shit.
That's dope, man. Well, and then you and Struggle doing the project, I guess, because he had already at this point in 2020, him and Jelly had already done a couple Waylon Willies.
Yeah.
You had already done some stuff with Church and Demon already.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that like the collab projects is kind of the move, Slick. It's probably right.
Well, me personally, I think it's, dude, how crazy would it be if there was an album with like me, Church, Jelly, Struggle, and like, I don't know, name anyone. Like five, like yeah, Broad, whatever, or like Tom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or fucking.
Yeah.
You're gonna get way more people excited. Like, cool, people are excited for a Tom album. People are excited for a Jelly album. People are excited for an Upchurch. How many people would be? Imagine the excitement if like. I always think that if you guys come together and make the shit bigger, it makes it bigger.
Yeah.
You know, you might go see Struggle on tour. You might go see Demon or Adam on tour. But what if they were all on tour together?
Yeah, man.
You're definitely going to see that.
Yeah.
You're not missing that.
That would be huge. No, I totally.
Or what if there was what if there was like you know, me, Demon, John, Jelly, Strug, Church, like 7 motherfuckers on an album. like a whole album.
Yeah.
You know.
No, for sure.
But yeah, but the joint projects and joint tours, I think that just goes, especially in the independent scene.
Yeah. Well, plus too, it was probably cool because you and Strug had done the record previous, and you saw how easy he worked. How you know, and it just made sense. I'm sure, and it's a dope.
So Struggle came
project.
up here.
I think it's when he told me it was during the pandemic. He came to Chicago. Right?
Taboo was here.
Yeah.
Bree was here for a little bit with Bernie. I mean, we were cooking steaks. We were working out. We're recording. I mean, you know. Now, when you talk about like these guys and my relationship, these aren't just guys I met on the internet and like, cool, all right, see ya. Like, we've spent time with each other's families. We know each other's kids.
Yeah.
You know, they've been to my house. I've been to their house. Like, you're talking about time, real time. Like, not just like, oh yeah, dog. I'm like, you're talking like a bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So the next project is showing Pressure. Was anything between
Worst
that?
album I ever dropped.
As far as just
Performance.
okay. Was that the next thing, or did I miss anything between you and Strug? I don't think you did any EPs or anything after that. Everything else has been full-length albums since then. But because it says Pressure dropped January of 2021, and you dropped.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was total solo project.
Yeah, I didn't want any features.
Okay.
And it was I didn't want any features because I didn't do any. It was straight hip hop rap.
Okay. So you still wanted to kind of stray away from the country rap.
I wanted to get as far away from it as I could.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And I kept doing that. I kept doing that because I said it was the time in my life where I was like, I don't ever call myself an artist. Like, I'm an artist. I make art and I'm artistic. Fuck that shit. I'm a worker. I get the job done. If I have a vision, I fucking go and I do it. I'm not like, no, it's got to be fucking Periwinkle Blue or some shit. You know, like maybe I am an artist, but I don't consider myself one. And maybe that was me trying to be an artist. Like, no, I can fucking rap. You know what I'm saying? And name me the songs on Pressure.
Yeah, I'll go back right here. We've got Tree Tire, Riding Shotgun.
So I thought that. So I was like, all right, Tree Tire. Let's try. I was trying to infuse too much. I was trying to infuse too much hip hop into country rap. Like Tree Tire was like, I was like, look at me, huh? You just mad at me, huh? Shot my first. Like.
I fuck with the Larry Bird record though.
Even the Larry Bird joint, like.
But I like. I'm like you.
It's more rap.
Yeah.
It's more hip hop, but it's like hip hop with sprinkled with still a little more. Because I wanted the country rap people to listen to this and like it, so you got to sprinkle a little bit of that in there, and
like
it just
Willow.
Yeah. Which fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I was missing, bro. I was trying to do something that didn't fit in a. It wasn't country rap. It wasn't rap. It was like. It was just a mistake.
Yeah,
It's a mistake.
The thing is, though, bro, like if you go and look at any artist, even like Eminem, Jay-Z, whoever, you go through their discography, you're gonna find stuff like that where they try something different. It may not do as well, you know.
Yeah.
But
I was trying to put too much hip hop, like even the structure of the song. It was a motherfucking. That was a low point, and I was so disappointed.
And see, like, it was less than 3 months after that's when you and Strug dropped Outlaw Shit.
Now that shit performed well. That shit did really good, and I finally got back on my. I was pissed. Yeah. I was so pissed because I was mad about Billy Goat, and then I was mad about Pressure. And the reason I named that album Pressure was because that's all I feel in my life every day. I try to check myself into the psych ward over here. Because all I could think about was dying. I wake up with my heart slamming every single day. I can't control my thoughts and shit. And I was all fucked up. And it's because I was paying so much attention about what people are saying to me on the internet. This motherfucker's trying to make a diss track that's got 10,000 fucking views. And I'm like, I'm about to kill this motherfucker. Like, who the fuck cares? 10,000 views? Nobody knows who this motherfucker is. And I'm on sitting here. I know dudes that I shouldn't even know. I'm watching dudes that I don't even wasting my time
Right.
sitting here like I'm gonna fuck this mother, and I'm commenting, and I'm like, someone should have took my damn phone away from me, honestly. And when Outlaw shit came, I was still mentally fucked up, but I was so pissed off that I had put out because I had put out bangers, and then I put out 2 projects that did not perform to my expectations. To anyone else that dropped those albums, those would be, by their standards,
But in here,
success.
Yeah, in here it was like.
In here, even and when I looked at the screen, these numbers aren't adding up.
Yeah.
But to any other artist that dropped that album, the numbers it did to them, it would have been, you know what I'm saying?
But it's just like where you're used to performing at a certain.
It's got to be
Yeah.
the best, or I lost.
It goes back to the competitive.
Yeah.
Being the best. So like, on Outlaw shit.
I was pissed.
So on Outlaw shit, y'all had the Climbing Mountains joint with Caitlin.
So that started off slow.
Yeah.
And then it for like the first like 8 months, it's slow, and then.
Was that after God We Need You Now or before?
After.
Okay. So it I can't remember because I think
No, I think that was after.
Okay, but then Dropping Bodies.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
So I was so pissed.
That's some of your best verses.
All my verses I was writing, I was like, "Fuck this motherfucker."
I could tell you were pissed off.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to that on the ride home when it first dropped on the interstate, and I just remember listening to it, and I was like, on all the songs I was going through, I was like, Adam's pissed on this album.
Yeah.
Like
even on the Hallelujah joint, I'm like, "How you doing? What's up, partner? This shit right here, go fuck. I'm motherfuck." Like, just fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfuck. I just wanted to be the dopest rapper, you know, and I'm not. But I like I said, if you think like that, you know, that's a good way to think.
Yeah, for sure. So that one did well. And then it brings us to this next collab album that you announced and nobody really saw coming.
Right.
Was The Brave, you and Tom MacDonald.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of talk about how that came about?
So Simba, who's a friend of mine, he's, you know, you've seen him with Church. He's a reactor. On YouTube.
Shout out Simba. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah. He's a reactor on YouTube. Great dude, big beautiful heart. He came to the house. I had him over. I had Arctic Kicks over. I had, you know, I have a lot of people come through the house all the time. You know, like you guys are here right now.
For sure.
Comfy all on it. And I had Simba come over, and he asked me about Tom. He's like, "So what do you think about Tom?" And I'm like, "Nah, you know, I don't think fuck that dude." Basically, you know, like I don't like what he's doing. I think he's like, I don't believe it's genuine, and I don't know what I think about that. I didn't really. It wasn't like nothing crazy, but I was like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe him. I don't think it's genuine. I think, you know, I feel like it's like taken from me. Like, you know, I'm the American motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I'm that guy. You know, and I'm the dude that's always talking about like subjects that, but he was rapping about them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He turned the things I was, well, not the only thing that I was saying. He turned the things that he was seeing, and instead of saying them, he was making music. He was saying them in lyric form. When I would say them, if I saw how the state of the country's going, I'm talking about it like this. And I just was like, man, I don't fuck with that dude. Would you ever do a song with him? No, I don't fucking think so. Unless it was like on some rap shit. And then no, I don't think I would do anything with him. So, and there might have been more to that. But basically people took that as like a diss, you know, and then all of a sudden you got videos popping up all over about, you know, me talking shit about Tom, and I'm in the studio recording. I don't fucking even know what I was recording. I don't know if I was doing features or what the fuck I was doing. And as I'm in the studio, I'm fucking around on my phone. I go to my DMs, and I think it's Nova. Simba hit me and said Nova wants you to call her, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what the fuck's that? What does that mean?
Which is Tom's girl.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So, I call the number that was given to me, and Tom answers. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "What's up?" And it was malicious at first, you know. Like, I was like, "Bro, I don't give a fuck," you know. I'm being me, you know, and I don't know him and how he is, you know. And he was being pretty respectful, but at first it was, you know, boom, 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 and then finally, I calmed down, he calmed down, and it's like we left the phone call with like we were like buddies. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was what it was. Who's this motherfucker? And why is he? I felt like he was like copying, you know, me. And I didn't give a fuck about whatever success he was having because I've already been successful for, you know, however many years or albums or whatever. It was more like, what the fuck? Who does this fucking guy think he is? Yeah. You know? And again, it's me being competitive, so I'm pushing against him. And we left that conversation both understanding we're both very competitive. And I respected him for not backing down from me being a fucking asshole, you know? And then we started talking more on the phone. And then we started talking like every day about nothing. Like about nothing about music. Just like life. And like I learned so much shit about like cool things about Tom. And he learned a lot of things about me. And some of the conversations that we had, I wish the world could hear them. Because they would be like, damn, that's fucking crazy. That's so cool. Like, whoa. And basically it comes down to this, like, we ended up finding out we had, and this is the thing in life, you got all these people arguing on the right and on the left, you know, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, fucking liberals. If motherfuckers would just sit down and have a fucking conversation, dude, you would find out how much shit you actually have in common with the motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Like y'all did.
And that's what happened with me and Tom.
Yeah.
And the fucking, he is a, and Nova is a amazingly talented person, and she is a slave driver. She will push you to where you want to quit, and Tom too. Yeah, that was a growing experience as an artist and as a rapper and as a human in love, like I love Tom. I love Demon. I love Struggle. I love Jelly Roll. I love Church. I love these guys. I don't think that, and I don't gotta say no homo. It's not. It's no. You know, I love brothers, Broadnecks. Yeah. I love these guys. And when I hug them, I love you, bro. That's genuine, like, because we're in this shit together, right? Like, even though this person might not talk with this, but all together, we've all done shit with each other. Yeah, I love these motherfuckers, and Tom's one of them, you know. And he made me grow as a person in understand to love, for peacefulness, understanding. I'm still learning. I'm not great at it. I'm learning. I'm a slow learner, hard-headed, thick-headed. But he made me a better rapper and pushed me. Because, so many people are going to hear this. I have to show up. Every verse, I have to make sure that it's a dope verse, you know? That
album's really good, but your verses on that album, you could tell that you were.
Yeah.
Because Tom's a rapping motherfucker, dog.
Yeah.
And there's some songs on there. It's a really good album, dog. It's really good. Did you? And that was during the time too when the pandemic came back around. So y'all were having to do everything on complete opposite sides of the country, correct?
Yeah.
Like videos, like y'all wasn't. Were y'all shooting separate and then just merging them and then, so like, the fact that y'all was able to do that, bro.
Bro, you're talking like, hey Tom, voice memos on. Tom, I just did this verse. It goes like this. Sent it to him, and then he'd write it back. Okay, I did it. Like we're going like that back and forth. I'm in the studio. You know what I mean? I would have went out there, but you know, I don't even know how that would have worked. You know, with I mean, it was. I think COVID was at like a full blown fucking.
It came back like Jordan with the 4-5. Dude.
Yeah. Like it was. So I wasn't even. I was like, man, fuck COVID. I you know me. I'm always like, fuck COVID. I don't give a fuck. I've had it 3 times now, that motherfucker. I feel like I'm. But yeah, that album was the biggest. Bro, I don't even say any numbers.
No, it's fine.
I will say this: that album was the biggest independent. No fucking. You know, part of a label, no fucking nothing. That was two guys and Nova, so just us with our money, with just our platforms. That was the biggest actual independent album released within the last 10 years.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, over time, it's probably going to end up being.
It's going to be it's already.
Is it your best performing one?
To date.
To date, yeah.
Yeah, his too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Well, actually, that's another thing. That's his first streaming album he ever put out.
I noticed that because before it wasn't.
So now he's got to compete with that when he drops another album, which Tom's fucking competitive.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's competitive. So I'm excited to see what he does. In the rest of his rap career, you know, because that dude made all the beats.
Really?
Every fucking beat.
And she did
every fucking video.
That's crazy. And y'all made that stuff work, man. It's really dope.
Like Tom, I feel like Tom might be getting slept on, to be honest, because that motherfucker is making the beats.
I'll say this, dude. I wasn't on the Tom MacDonald train at all.
Neither was I.
It took you collabing with him for me to be like, well, let me give him a shot, because I heard the song of him rapping in the school classroom, and I was like, nah.
That's same with me. That's how I was like. I was like, I don't believe this is.
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing this for views or something.
But when I saw you announce that you were collabing with him, I was like, well, if Adam's collabing with him, there's got to be.
It took almost a year of us talking on the phone. And then one day, I was like, bro, could you imagine if we did a fucking album just like the shit we're talking about? And like, he's like, let's do it. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm about to do this. I'm about to drop this. I want to do a podcast. I don't even want to rap anymore. He's like, well, how about I just make the beats and then we'll see. So he ended up making the beats. I was like, I don't got the time. I have to get this other album done and drop it in like September or some shit. And then he's like, just trust me, you know. And we ended up dropping that October, November, December, January. 5 years went by. In March, I think we dropped that album. You know what I'm saying? And so I hadn't dropped anything. I think that was the longest stretch where I didn't drop anything.
Yeah, because Outlaw Shit was the only thing before that. And
yeah.
That was June. No, that was April of 21. So you went almost an entire year.
And that I never did that.
You was dropping 2 or 3 previously up until that.
And I never did that. And I did that, and I mean, we sold 50,000 hard copies, an insane amount of digital copies. And I think that motherfucker probably right now, if you look on iTunes, is probably still, and it's been out for half a year. I bet you that motherfucker right now, that album, and albums just dropped on Friday. What day is today? Saturday?
Yep.
So, in rap and hip hop.
I'm sure it's still on there.
No, I know it's still on there. It's 43. It's It's number 43 right now on
And
iTunes.
there's lots of big artists that's been dropping since then.
And it's in 6 months, and that I guarantee you by midweek next week it'll be at 20 again.
Well, and y'all haven't dropped any more visuals, or y'all
No,
dropped
and
them?
he like, I talk to Tom, every other fucking day, and he hasn't really dropped any videos or music, and he's kind of taken, that took a lot out of me. I can't speak for him, but that album took a lot out of me. I gave it all. I had, and I felt like I grew as a rapper. You know what I mean? From that.
For sure, and you did some like.
I did shit I never did before. We used
For sure.
some auto tune on some
That's
singing
exactly what I was
shit,
gonna say.
even on some rap verses. I used
Revenge. I've
Yeah.
told you this off camera. That may be my favorite Adam Calhoun verse, or just the way.
Thank you.
The way, because you did something different, bro. You was singing a little bit, but she was rapping the stuff she was saying. That revenge. That's my favorite.
I just
on
want
the album.
revenge. Yeah, man. And I listened to that album once.
Yeah.
I listened to it all the way through from front to back when we dropped it, and that was it. Never. I couldn't. If you asked me to rap a verse from there, I probably couldn't. I don't like listening to my music.
Yeah, you're.
I'm already on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Even with this album, that I'm already thinking about a country album.
Yeah.
You know.
So, before we get into this last part, which will be this last album that you're talking about, Jelly. How did you meet Jelly? I forgot to ask you.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So, Jelly Roll, he might have a different story as far, not how we met, but I feel like Jelly kind of kept his distance from me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt, cause I always I remember seeing Jelly Roll when it was on YouTube, and he had like a shaved head. He was in a white T-shirt in like some house, like freestyling.
That was filmed. It's on my channel.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it was
that's like
freestyling
11 years ago, or maybe longer.
2009,
Okay,
bro.
so
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
Yep.
So I only knew Jelly Roll as a rapper.
Yep.
But I remember when I started being around, like, so it was really weird because I already did shit with Church and Struggle and Demon and you know, all the usual suspects. You know what I'm saying? Like all the guys that were trying to do their thing.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Jelly's the only one that I it's like there was no contact, and there was no like you know, maybe a DM here and there. Nothing. You know what I mean? And I really wanted him. How we met, I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah.
I want to say the first time I actually ever met Jelly Roll in person, and I could be wrong, Jelly, and I'm sorry if I am, was when in the studio in Nashville.
Okay.
I think that was the first time I ever
You
met
said
him.
at somebody else's studio session at Stoner.
I think it was in his studios. No. This was
Okay.
in Nashville, in like where he records like all his
Oh.
shit.
I wonder if it was Waylon and Willie. When him and Struggle were recording Waylon and Willie.
He was very I'm talking about when I first met him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He was very standoffish with me, and rightfully so, because who knows what he had heard about me.
Yeah.
Plus, that was the first time I ever met him, so it was like maybe I'd read him wrong. But I'm pretty good at reading people. But he wasn't rude or anything like that. But Jelly's a very smart human being.
Very, very smart.
He's very street smart. He's very well read, book smart. This dude is no joke. You know. But when I first met Jelly, he was more kind of like a little standoffish. He needed to get to know me. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, besides Demon, Jelly Roll's right there with him. Like, it goes Demon, Jelly Roll. As far as guys I call when I'm, like, about to fucking... Jelly Roll is a He's just an unbelievable motherfucker, to be honest. I mean, this dude's held pads for me, like hitting mitts. Like he's held mitts. You know, it's a profound thing what he is, because he isn't just, you can't nail it down what he is. It's like you call him, he doesn't answer. I text him, he doesn't answer. And it'll be out of the fucking blue. Hey, Bubba, I was just driving and I saw this sign and I fucking, and we'll just start talking. But like, when I need him, he'll be there. He'll answer. And when I need direction, like where I wouldn't tell anyone this, I don't know who else to talk to.
Yeah.
Jelly.
I already know, bro.
He's younger than me. But he doesn't act younger than me.
No, he's a year younger than me. He was born December 4th, 84.
Yeah, he's my brother Danny's age. And, you know, he's been a street dude. He's been down and out. I'm sure he's battled with, I know what he battles with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and to be where he is now, I bet he's a hell of a good card player, because you can't just get where he got now, you know, without, he knows when to keep his cool.
Yeah.
He knows when to be like, okay, listen here, Bubba, like, you know, he's smooth.
Yeah.
And he's the wrong motherfucker to play with, and he's the right motherfucker to just hug and love on.
Yeah.
And he's a father. And I know how much he loved his father and still loves his father. Rest in peace to his dad. He's a lot of things.
Yeah, man.
And I'm super happy for his career and everything he's done. And that's the thing with me. I'm rooting. If you're a good motherfucker, I am rooting for you. Yeah. If you're a piece of shit, I'm rooting for you to fail, dog, or run into me. I'm rooting for it. Yeah. Right now, on this day, whatever fucking day it is in August, 25th? 7th? Fuck it. Right now, at this time in his career, he's the biggest artist that I've ever worked with. And he's about to be Post Malone, dog.
Bro, it's fixing to happen.
Yeah. Jelly Roll's literally about to be the biggest artist in the country. Yeah. I would say within a year's time.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months to a year. And it's a pleasure. I even told him, I said, hey, motherfucker, don't forget to answer the phone. Yeah. You know, and I understand, you know, what he's doing now is crazy. And what you can't help but root for the fucking guy.
Dog, I mean, everything that you said, I couldn't agree more, just because I know him. I mean, when you were watching those videos of us him freestyling, bro, we were splitting dollar menu. Yeah. MacDonald shit.
And it's so after I met Jelly and we actually became talking and shit like that. I mean, I spent time with him in the studio. He's always you know, his laugh is very you can hear his you know when he laughs, it chuckles. I mean, I've been in the studio with him. He's been to the house. I've been to, you know, I was in Clearwater, and he's like, "What are you doing, Bubba? You got your feet in the sand?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm in Tampa. Come over. I'm doing a show." I drove over there, like an hour and a half drive. Fucking saw him perform and just almost cried for him. I was just so happy for him. Out of all the guys I met, I mean, like I tell you, in my opinion, you know, Church, Jelly, and Struggle, and Demon. I mean, these are the top of the best human beings I've ever met. Struggle, that's a guy that I could just sit there and chill with and not even say a word to, and it's just like, it doesn't need to be said, you know. Yeah. He's always got a smile on his face. Church, you know, he's a guy in wonderment all the time, wondering about and trying to figure out things and stretch move the fucking needle more. How far can he, you know, what can he make next, you know, what can he master? Demons, just a constant one brick at a time, building it, you know what I mean? Jelly, just fuck yeah, motherfucker, we're doing this shit, yeah! You know, and then you got Broadnecks, you know, hey, baby, you know, we gonna get, you know, baby, the smooth motherfucker, you know. I mean, yeah, I've been and then you got,
too.
huh?
Dusty, shout out Dusty.
Dusty, Dusty is a honey badger. You can't, bro. The funniest thing about tour was Dusty Lee. This fucking guy will talk so much shit to you, and then his family came. He's the best fucking dad. His family came. I come out the fucking back of the bus, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, motherfucker?" He's, dude, really? Oh, my daughter's sitting right here.
Yeah.
What? What the fuck did you just? Did you? The fucking every day I wake up, I walk to the front of the bus. You got you got just boxers on with a box of fucking cereal and like cake, and you're just knocked the fuck unconscious from the night before, and he just will bust your balls all day long fucking with you, and it's awesome. He's my brother. I love him. But man, when it's dad time, he's dad.
Yeah.
No fucking around, no swearing around the kids, no talking about nothing. And it's awesome. Yeah, Dusty's a great dude.
Hell yeah.
Just in time, like I said, I he's never done not a motherfucking thing wrong to me, and he's a great dude. He's got a beautiful daughter, and his son is growing old. All these people just over the last 5-6 years, just so much growth in these people. All the people I know, I've been very blessed to be a part of these people's lives, and yeah, man. I mean, Jelly Roll. Out of everyone that's doing it, he's the one right now that's killing everybody.
Dude.
But with grace and humbleness and like
just
a
being
kid,
him, bro.
like a big kid, just being like, I can't believe this shit, you know. So yeah, that's Jelly.
So finishing up, because I'm about to lose my battery, but we're gonna be good enough to get this. We're coming to the end of the interview, and we're also coming to your final rap album.
Yeah.
Which
last one ever.
Which we don't have it. We're not releasing the title for yet.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Okay.
It's called Country Rap Tunes.
Oh hell yeah!
And that's the famous line from Pimp C.
Oh, that's my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah, and this is why it's called Country Rap Tunes, is because for so long, for the last 3 years, I've been trying to get away from the country rap shit, and I said, fuck it, man. This is it. This is what I do. This is what the people love. Yep. So I embraced it, and this album is Americal on steroids.
Yeah.
And it's got all the guys on it, and this album is the first album I ever did just gigantic.
Yeah.
And I embraced it. It's called Country Rap Tunes, and after Pimp C, who actually said that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I embrace it completely. And this will be the last rap album I ever do.
Yeah, man. And then, is there I know you don't have a release date yet. Do you have a time frame that you're shooting for?
I want to...
2023?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is coming in hot. Yeah. And like I said, I'll still do features here and there for my guy, like my buddies. Yeah. I'll still on tour perform the songs everyone loves, but I'm gonna start making music when I want, when I feel like it, and what kind of music I want. And I really love writing, like songs like Clean Money or Catch Out. Like I want to write like country rock songs, like I just want to create like music that I want to listen to. Yeah.
Well, like you said, you grew up on that stuff too.
Yeah, I love classic rock. Led Zeppelin's my favorite band of all time. So I just want to make some music, and maybe I fucking suck at it, and I'm just like, fuck it, and I'm not done. I'm done. I'll be out front mowing my grass and playing with my daughter and fucking, we'll see what happens. But I can tell you this: after this album, I'll never release another rap album ever again. I'm done. I did it. I've done more than I thought I ever would. I've been very lucky to be around some of the best people I can be around, to be here. I don't really give much props to myself, except for I work my fucking ass off and try to keep up with all the catch up, because I started later than all these guys did. So I try to catch up and work my ass off. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for church, if it wasn't for struggle, if it wasn't for Jelly, if it wasn't for Demon. I wouldn't even fucking be here, man. Those guys helped mold my career. And I wish more people would give those props where they're due to other artists, because nobody gets here by themselves.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You got to put that work in, though, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can get every feature you want in the world, but if you ain't working, you know what I mean. Hard work beats talent every day.
Yeah, man. Well, y'all heard it here first, man. Country Rap Tunes, Adam Calhoun.
Yeah, man.
The final rap album, and man,
That's 11. That's my 11th
hell yeah.
rap project, and I'm out.
Well, man, I really do appreciate you letting us come through and do this.
I'm glad you came, man.
This is a lot of fun. You welcomed us into your home, you know, and we were beyond grateful for that.
I'm
And,
glad you came.
I love you, brother. Yeah.
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 1 year.
Man, I love you, dog. I appreciate you.
I love you, bro.
And y'all be sure to tune in. Obviously, we'll put Adam's socials and everything on there. And we'll put, you know, all that good stuff in there. But Country Rap Tunes, Adam Calhoun, coming soon. ChadArmesTV.
Let's go!